Hey,
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, if y'all ain't been over there to African Dreaming, they over there acting up. They acting real grownish on African Dreamers channel. Mm-hmm. They over there playing music, on vacation, drinking, taking five. How you go on for a 5 minute interval on your live though? They left us for a whole 5 minutes. Jay couldn't come back on screen for another five after that. Mm-hmm. Yep. They act there. They acting real grown over there. That's all I'm gonna say. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Urban? Willie? How are you too?
hey, mother country.
In the mother country. Crafty Leo.
Hey, crafty Leo.
Right, Urban. They do. Hey Fifi, how are you?
Hey, beat it.
I'm trying to be grown one day. Maybe next month. It's our wedding anniversary next month, the 24th. Maybe we'll drop Alex off at one of his siblings in the area,
Yay!
and we'll go live. Well, we'll go live earlier that day, while before getting grown. Hey Jova, how are you?
Joke to the vibe.
Jova, good afternoon. It's good evening. It's 5 p.m. It's dinner. People getting off of
I'm about to
work.
go to church.
You
I'm not bad. I'm not.
you
I'm
getting
not here.
dressed? You
We're about to be.
man,
You're right. I did need to get dressed.
listen. Me and
We got
Alex.
done with school today. Early.
Alex
Like
was
early.
so close for being done with school.
What you mean so close?
So close.
I am done with school.
No, you got so Alex we have to get through our state testing next week. And then after that, we got what, 2 more weeks? I think it's the second. Yeah, I think the second week in May is his last um like official last day or whatever. But
After the
most
testing, it's gonna be
but most
official.
people after testing they just be like, I took my test and I'm done. That's kind of what we did last year.
That's what we about to do this year.
But Alex been slipping. He's been
No,
slipping this
no,
year. I think
no.
it's I honestly I think it's more of him changing. Like he's actually been going through some teenage stuff. So I've been
Don't
like
compare me to
really
those teenagers. I'm way smarter. I just don't like doing stuff
no.
because I
Yeah, you're
already
in
know
that
stuff.
teenage stage
They
where
don't
you
know
think
stuff.
you know everything, but you know nothing. That's the stage you're in. Everybody goes through that stage.
Here's the thing. I know
Everybody.
everything that doesn't need to be known.
Right.
And
You
then I
said
know
it correctly.
and then I know animal stuff. I
You
know
know
animal facts and stuff that doesn't need to be known about people.
right. That part.
But
So Alex has been counting his like beard hairs and his mustache hairs.
Oh, you see my mustache?
I noticed that when he wakes up, his voice is changing again. So I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him be. Hey Gina, Martika,
when I
how
turn
are
16, it's
you?
about to be, hey, Ma.
So I'm at this point because he's changing so much. I did register him back for mortar school.
Mortar?
Yeah, where you go to a brick building, a regular school instead of doing homeschooling. So
I mean,
we're
it does
gonna
look like a brick
see
building here.
we're gonna see how this regular schooling goes for him. Um, I did call today to make an appointment because our school system still has the paddle system. So I have to go, like, I have to have this meeting to have them understand, like, we're not doing a paddle system with my child.
They still have it?
Yeah.
With kids?
They still do it up until they have it for the elementary school and the middle school. So
Oh yeah, they did. I saw one kid.
right, Gina.
Wait, what's Sticky
Wash
say?
your face. You got dirt on your chin.
Sticky. Kick Sticky out. Kick Sticky out. This is the first time I ever said this. six sticky out. And anybody that says something about my beard and mustache, kick him out.
Yes, my
Y'all better be
Renaissance
leaving.
grandma. So they have a zero tolerance level for the schools, for mainly the middle school and the high school. So they have a zero tolerance level, and they have the paddle system in play for elementary and middle school still. So I need to know the rule. I want a clear understanding of what the zero tolerance level and what it implies to. Because I've been talking to parents and I notice certain kids that are not in school, and I'd be trying to figure out why they're not in school and why they're like an alternative school, which is still at the middle school, is weird. Um, so which I'm trying to make Alex understand, because I understand Alex has a short fuse on certain things. If he's very strong headed. And I feel as if I want him to understand what he's getting into going back into the school system that we're both not used to. And for the school to understand, like, there's certain rules that's not going to apply to my child, where I have that right to say, okay, you must call me and you must do this instead of doing that. Most to Certain parents don't exercise their rights in this school system. They just stuck on, it's been like this for years, and they so used to it. And I'm just like, no, I'm not used to that. I wasn't raised like that. When I went to school, we didn't have that system. Um, and I'm not gonna have my son subject to certain things. So we're gonna see how this meeting goes, and see what like, I guess that meeting will be my final decision if I'm going to proceed on letting him go to school or not. Hey, son, suggest they watched your videos before they think. Right, right, my Renaissance grandma. Right. Hi, honey. Come have a seat. Oh, you got to drop all your stuff off. Don't, no. They're on punishment. They're not. I'm gonna feed them, but um, if I spank my child CPS, that yes, that's what I'm saying, Gina. So one of the parents that I know, she took her child out of school because she had spanked her child at the school for after they spanked him because he was acting up, and they called CPS on her. And I was just like, what? So yeah, like I said, we're gonna have to do this meeting, and for me to make my final decision on what is in the guidelines of this paddle system and zero tolerance level. So, right?
I say whoop their ass.
No, you can't say that.
Spank them.
You're not even comfortable with me spanking him. You're gonna be comfortable with somebody at the school spanking him?
Yeah, because you got these strong ass fucking forearms right
Shut
here. I got to comfort him and pay a hospital bill.
I'm just saying, he's a
sorry.
boy.
Oh,
Sometimes mothers gotta take down their sons. Sometimes we have. I mean, he's a strong boy. He's a strong young man.
Okay, let me leave.
Were you leaving?
Well, yeah, so he can sit down and chill out with you.
It never left their school district. It never left our school district. It's still in play, and that's something. When we first got here, my oldest one had the choice. I did put Alex in school, but they was calling me 2-3 times a week.
Why is y'all talking about me?
No, but it was like stupid things, and it was just like it was getting ridiculous to where I had to take him out. It was like just good timing on when I took him out.
What's up, everybody?
Right.
Hi, how's it going? But yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's a big part of the school day anyway, and I think a lot of teachers would be against that too. So
They are.
Yeah, there's a new generation. There's definitely within the last, I would say, 2 or 3 years or so, there's a whole new generation of teachers. A lot of retirees went out the last couple of years that have been teachers since the 80s and all that. So
Right.
there's definitely it's a trend. It is a trend, and I know it sounds weird, but being a school teacher, it's cool now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and it should be because being a teacher was and a nurse was super cool in the 60s and the 50s and all that. You know, so hopefully it catches back on, and hopefully the paychecks catch up.
That's what I'm hoping for. My oldest child
No.
is
Did you
going is yo today.
Ray.
Sorry, so y'all know it's
Ray.
Wednesday. Y'all know the foolishness between these two be happening.
All right, but what was he talking about?
But yeah, our oldest child is in college this last couple of months before they graduate, but it's going to school to be a school teacher, and I'm very, very excited about that. But my biggest worry is the income. It's like it's like I want these teachers to get paid more money. And they do take on a lot. They have to deal with different, especially middle school teachers, because these kids go through so much and changing. Hey, Miss Shirley, sassy, how are you? They go through so much and changing, and it's like they have to deal with all these different personalities and stuff like that. I know I said in one of my lives in our middle school, another big thing why I'm back and forth with Alex is going is because a couple of years ago they had big gang situations. I'm sorry, guys. They acting rude again on a Wednesday. Sorry about that. You know, Wednesday they come with their foolery. Hey, Cece, how are you? So, our oldest child, well, my oldest child is excited about being a school teacher. They are in the school system now where they teach small kids. Where, like I said, they're really, really enjoying it and doing what they do. And they don't want to teach in our school district because of the simple fact of pay and some of the rules, and that they're not willing to budge on. And then there are they're kind of forcing the older teachers to retire to let the new teachers come in, because these older teachers are not having patience with these younger kids. And the respect level for some of these kids are not where it's at right now. So yeah, I think schools is just going through it. They really are. And
I like the old teachers. They teach old math.
no, you like so Alex likes the older teachers because he can woo them.
Nah, well, yes, I can.
Yes,
I
you
can,
do.
I can
Yes,
slip
you
from
do.
hands.
When Alex was in school, like I said, they used to call me 2-3 times a week, especially every Friday. Alex was sick. We called it Friday sickness.
Yeah.
Every Friday, Alex had a half a day, and every Friday, this one teacher will call me. Oh, Alex walked out of my class. Alex is doing this. Alex is doing that. Alex is not feeling well, and it was just like this
I think
one
every
teacher.
Friday, I either had a
So-
really bad cough.
No,
a
it wasn't every
nosebleed.
Friday. It was just you. It's just you knowing how to play the teacher, and
Hey, but I did good in class, did I not? I was an AP honor roll.
he wasn't. He's always been an honor roll student, but he, like I said, he woos the older teachers. These older teachers look at him and they look into his eyes and they see he's well mannered, and then he does what Alex wants to do. Where the younger teachers, Alex can't do that way. Alex has to do what they want them to do. Alex has to listen. Alex just had a hard time. Alex was just
I
like,
think,
you, yes.
No, because it's online. I can't. I can't.
No, yeah. So Alex don't like homeschooling because he can't woo me and he can't woo
I can't.
his online teachers.
Exactly.
So Alex is like, I'm done with this.
I
ain't
can't
going.
do sleight of hands when it's on video.
Right.
I can't.
Alex
make a
had
penny
mistreated
disappear.
that person. Right, Joe Bob. Right. But let's get to today's topic.
Yeah, what is today's topic?
Today's topic is ways to keep your children safe. I've been thinking about this a lot lately because
Ooh.
Alex is a walker.
Not
Even
really a
though the
walker.
school is a whole three houses down from us, but still, you know, most things can happen with kids coming on and off the school bus or whatever.
Yeah, I don't like. To be honest, I don't like going.
Cece, I homeschool my daughter after her 9th grade year. Oh no, Cece, I couldn't do that. I can't do my thing was once he got to 9th grade, I was done. Like I'm not doing high school, whatever.
Like 8th grade.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it was 8th grade. We did compromise on 8th grade because I was like, no, I need a break. I didn't want to continue to go through the mood swings and nope.
Wait, now that I think of it, I did woo you a little.
Yeah.
I wooed you on some parts. Because I started doing school after a little, and I caught up because, well, kind of saw the tricks, the sleight of hands.
There's something wrong with this child. I don't know if he's mine or not, but we're gonna just keep it that way. So one thing that I think all parents send them to Siege, he's going. I found a place, Siege, and he is going. He is definitely going. Trust me. You're gonna see it when you get here in June.
I can't say the word, dang it. Mortar arts.
Martial
arts. No.
So
DTC, I love you, but I'm not going to martial arts.
You need to. So one thing that I tell parents, one thing I tell parents all the time, yes, CC, that is my twin. That's why I said I gotta send him back. Because at this age right here, I was not an innocent child anymore. And I refuse to see my twin at home doing.
I mean, if I follow your path, I'll
come
out like you.
I'm a wonderful person.
Exactly.
But I
You're
also
a wonderful
know
mom. I want to be a wonderful dad or a cool dad. Do I not?
But you're also hot-headed like me.
Exactly. That's what makes you such a good parent.
Jesus.
If
anyway,
I like you, and I can be a great dad. I can keep my kids in check. You see me? I'm good. I'm going down your path.
So one thing that I always tell parents and when they go to school, some schools have the school IDs. Some schools don't. I know our school system does not have school ID.
Yes, we do.
No, you guys don't.
Oh, no.
No, you guys don't. I know the high school just got the tags, the IDs with their pictures on it, just to get into to get into their classes. So I guess they scan, and that's the way they're taking their attendance that way now. But I suggest everybody get their child a state ID. You never know, and I hope nobody's child ever comes up missing. But we were in a park one time, and yes, Siege, they do wear uniforms here. Thank God. But state ID, if your child was to ever come up missing, most of us, you know, in a time of panic and everything, not saying you don't recognize your child, but it's hard to describe your child. If they're already in the system and like in the DMV system, it's easier for them to pull up your child. And I always tell my child, if God forbid to where we ever lost him, to always drop your ID. Like take things out of his wallet and drop it along if he's able to, so that he can leave a trail and have some type of identification to where we can pinpoint his last location. also because Alex is a big kid. A lot of people don't understand Alex is only 11 years old. Um he doesn't I don't want him to ever get stopped by the police and they identify him as an older person and he has his ID to have proof of his age. That was another big reason of me getting his ID because Alex does look like he's 16, 17 years old. And the way he carries himself was seem that he was that age. But yeah.
One thing, if you do get stopped by the cops and they think you're somebody else, don't reach for your wallet. Let them reach for your wallet.
I know.
Because they might think it's
just tell them
a,
that you're reaching for your wallet and where it's at.
Well, I ain't reaching for nothing.
Yes, Cece, he's only 11.
Well, 12.
If you'll be 12 in June.
Month.
Yeah.
Well, 2 months. Sorry, I forgot that we're still in April.
See, Urban, I was on that same path. But it's different. See, now Gina got her child's prints. That's something I'm not willing to do. Because then I feel like they would put them in a category of them being arrested or whatever. I don't know about the Prince thing, but state ID, I do make it a point for most parents to get it because like I said, I want him to be able to be found. Thank you, my Renaissance grandma. Another thing that he is gonna get, and I know he's probably not gonna like this, is one of the tracking devices. I will be putting this on his book bag to make sure I know he's getting to and from school, because most likely I'll be going back to work. So he'll be coming home, and I want to make sure he's coming straight home because Alex is at that age where he does take detours.
I do.
I would send Alex Alex would ask to go to the store, and all of a sudden
one day I was going to the park. Well, I did go to the park, and then I took a whole 25 minutes to go to Walgreens.
And Walgreens is a whole 2 blocks from the park.
Exactly.
But he wasn't supposed to go to Walgreens in the first place.
But I had my phone.
But what about that another time when you're supposed to go to Dollar General and you end up at that girl's house? How about that? Oh. So
no, I called you though. Did I not?
You did, but was you supposed to be at the girl's house?
Why are you acting? Why you? But it makes it sound weird.
Joe, you don't even understand. Y'all don't understand. See, the reason why is, like I said, Alex wanders off. I know he's always been a wonder child.
But here's the thing.
Always been.
I'm responsible enough.
You are. I'm not saying you're not, but how this world is with the mass shootings. Gina, I got it off of Amazon. I'll send you the link though. There's so much going on, and I want to have access to my child. I want to make sure my child's okay. I don't ever want Alex to tell me he's going somewhere and something happens and then he's not where he's supposed to be and something happens. I'm not saying like I want to have all control of his life and when he gets older. It's just for right now. I want Alex to understand. Don't tell me you're going this place and you end up somewhere else. And where you at is where something happens.
Right?
Because anything can happen.
No, I'm agreeing with you, but I was about to say something real mean about Sticky.
Leave her alone. Hey, G.
There, Alex.
Don't talk about my mustache and beard, Joe. I'll say something real mean back.
You're gonna say
Little Billy.
Bald head.
What's up, Jana?
What's up? So this is what I was gonna say. We have to, as people, stop conspiratizing everything. If you think you were born into this country and they don't have your DNA or something in records, you are crazy.
That's
If
right.
you
Ain't
think
nobody
you
worried
were
about.
a doctor and they don't have your information in record, you are delusional. Stop it. So don't be afraid to do these things. Yeah, they can use anything for bad. They don't have people get set up all the time and they probably ain't never had their fingerprints and stuff taken, but they find a way to do so. So we can't move them that way. If your child come up missing, you will move this whole country to find your child. You don't care what they got to use to find them. So don't limit the resources in which you can find yours. Because my kids know I will tear this mother sucking country down.
Right.
I will find my child.
That's right.
Right.
Period. So when it was a program when my youngest was little. That's why she has hers in record. There's like a little ID card. We went and did that. They take their fingerprints. They get all that into the police system or whatever. So that because people take children.
They do.
And you don't your mind to think of what they could do to your child. No, I'm not living that life. I'm not living that life. Although my child is not a little one no more. She's 14 now, but still. I still my 26-year-old, I still tear this city up for. So
that part.
You don't look but 26 yourself.
Every resource out there. Because I'm gonna be out there, so y'all need to be out there too, and y'all need to have what y'all need to find mine and recognize that it's mine.
Right.
Period. Blood, hair, what you need.
Right.
What you need.
Because you don't want to wait to the last minute to come up with all this stuff. That just delays the process.
Kiki
Hey guys.
Hey, Siege.
How's everybody?
I'm doing good.
I'm great.
I'm supposed to be working, but Alex, sweetie. Oh my God.
Right.
This is nerve-wracking. I don't know, how did I live through this with 3 kids? I had these same conversations, the same thing about go where you tell me you're going to go, when you say you're going to be there. And if for any reason plans change or somebody goes where they're not supposed to go, I'm going to need you to call me. There are no repercussions. You don't have to explain what they did. You can't go where you're not supposed to be.
Right.
Like the risk is just too great. And my daughter, who is now a grown-up, still remembers the time she had to get out of a car and call me because they were going somewhere where she knew they should not be.
Right.
And she stopped because she knew the repercussions were dire. And I don't think any kid should be hit, spanked. I'm not talking about tapping a 2-year-old on their butt because they did something that's dangerous.
Right.
I'm talking about Alex's age. I think we have to stop looking at this notion that hitting a child is going to teach them a lesson better than us having a conversation. I think it's wrong. I think it's damaging. I think it teaches them that when somebody doesn't listen to me or doesn't do what I want them to do in my time frame, then I have the right to physically strike out at them. And that's not true.
It doesn't change behavior. Just look at it like this. If it's an abusive relationship, if my husband is hitting me and you are my friend, this is not going to be okay with you because he's hitting me because I'm not doing what he feels like I should be doing. If it's happening, my husband does not hit me, but let's just say, I'm just saying, if that was the issue, you're like, no, that's not okay. He has no right to put his hands on you. That's not okay. And like you said, Siege, yes, I definitely tap my grandson. Like you want to tap, you do that because you don't want them to hurt themselves.
Right.
It's not for changing behaviors. Beating does not change behaviors.
It doesn't.
Understanding. And a lot of people of, past generations feel like we are softer on our kids because we allow them to speak and have opinions and so on and so forth. We do this because you guys spanked us. That did not work for us. I know for me, I felt like my mom hated me. She didn't. She just thought that was what she should do because that's what she had been through. And she thought that's how you handle keeping your children afraid to do anything that could cause them harm. Instead of having a conversation with them of why they shouldn't do those things that could cause them harm. I was 100 with my oldest. She's 26 now. And I would sit down with her and give it to her flat out what it is. If somebody gets you, this is what could happen to you.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to scare you. This is real. Let's look at news. Let's look at articles. This is what happens to people. We've been to there was a thing called Girls Inc. and they would have people come in who would discuss things that may have happened to them. So that's, you see that this is real life. This is why I'm so serious about you. Like you said, Siege, if plans change, you let me know that. Don't ever be somewhere you didn't tell me you were going to be. Because if you come up missing, I'm going to where I thought you were.
Right.
But now you're crying for me where you're at, and I don't know where that is. Right. So let me know where you're going to be so that when I come to tear up the city, I know where to start.
Right.
Or you're going to pay the consequences and it's not going to be pleasant. This is what happened with my middle child. She was 13. I allowed her to go out with friends. I took her and dropped her off. She was supposed to get a ride home. She didn't get a ride home. She didn't show up on time. I got in my car. I went looking for her where she was supposed to be. She was not there. So first panic, immediate panic. I mean, my heart dropped. I don't think I've ever been that afraid in my life. Mm-hmm. She was somewhere else where she wasn't supposed to be, doing something she had no business doing with a bunch of people that she had no business doing it with. Mm-hmm. When she finally got home, I said to her, we need to have a conversation because everybody in this house has rules. Yeah. I have rules. Your father have rules he has to follow. Your brother and sister, they have rules. You are not going to live here and be a rule breaker. Now, when you get your own place, you can set your own rules. But there are things that we all have to do. I have to get up and go to work so that you can have some of the things you want in your life. Right. You have to be where you tell me you're going to be. And you need to be home at a certain time because that's what the law says. And if they catch you out after that time, the consequences are that you could not be here and it would be beyond my control to intervene on your behalf.
Yes.
And then you have to use some really serious language about what can happen to children today, physically and mentally, if they are caught in a place that they know they shouldn't be.
Exactly.
Some things you can't turn back. I told him, I said, if you're going to make a mistake that's not going to change the course of your life forever.
Yes.
Yep.
We all make mistakes. We have to let them grow. We have to give them some sense of freedom. But we also have to have those conversations that say there's some things that you could do the first time that will change the trajectory of your life forever. And you may never be able to straighten it out.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that's what frightens me. That's what scares me because I watched people around me make that bad decision or make that decision that was different from mine. Because I don't care how old I was. If something looked like it was about to go sideways, I'd say, I hear my mama calling me. I have to go.
Facts. I'm still that way to this day. Y'all hear it as I don't like people. If you've been in my lives, you know I say that. I don't like people. It's not that I don't like people. It's that group, two congested groups of people scream problem to me. It's like something could go down and I just rather not be here for whatever it is. It may not, but I just rather not.
Yeah, it's important to have that communication, that conversation where Alex understands that his behavior affects the people that love him and that care about him. So now, Alex, you have a responsibility to us to make the best choice you can make. And if you can't talk to your parents, there are other people in this community. You can pick up the phone without hesitation, no judgment, no judgment. You can call. You need to make that phone call. Make that phone call and say, this is what's happening. This is what happened. What do you think?
Yes.
Let somebody out, because it's not always easy to talk to mom and dad or your immediate relatives or your older siblings, but you can call me. I've been through this 3 times. They all came out great. Believe I don't know how, but they did somehow. They came out great. And Alex reminds me so much of my son.
Yeah.
Super bright. Very bright. Very sneaky. He was slick, that one.
This one here, that's one thing about Alex. Alex, if he does go out his way to go somewhere else, Alex will call me. But it's like, hey, mom, I'm over here. But how did you get there? Why didn't you? You knew you was on your way there.
I say where I am and how I got there. Like I went to Walgreens. But I said I got stuck on the train tracks, almost died.
Right. But the thing was, you knew you was on your way there. Call me before you get there. Because then I'm gonna say, okay, what route are you taking? Because there's many ways to get to Walgreens, and you always go around the whole town instead of just going the 2 blocks over.
What are you talking? I went to the park, which is straight down, and then I went down to the church place, and then Walgreens was right there by Hardy. Ooh, I should have went to Hardy's too.
But
he is never going to understand the level of fear that you live with every time he's outside of your vision. He's not going to know.
He had in his head to go make another pit stop, and I'm like, he's not getting it.
Yeah,
but you're not understanding. That's another thing.
Every cop knows me, not because I did something bad. It's just
Alex is, Alex has a good. Alex will speak to anybody, which I used to hate when he was a child, and for the longest time I was like, oh, that was another thing that I had to install into Billy, and I was like, Billy, does Alex know your real name? So we went camping, and Alex could not tell anybody our real name, and that was frightening because he always known us as mom and dad, and I was like, Billy, and he was like, but he shouldn't, and I was like, no, he needs to know our real names. Because God forbid if he gets lost, we're not mom and dad.
Wow. You don't even think about that. Like that's
a good point.
You don't think about it. It's not something that it's so hard. When I hear you say things like you need to put a locator in this book bag and a school, I don't know why a school would want corporal punishment, quite frankly, because there's not a psych study in the world that supports that. There is not a study. And I know there are certain demographics of people that will shout me down and swear that is what kids are missing. That is not what kids are missing. That's not it. What they're missing is someone outside of immediate family where they have a safe place to go to say, I've done something really foolish, really stupid, or really dangerous, and I need you to help me without judgment, without repercussion. I gave my kids somebody to go to. So if they couldn't come to me, they had somewhere else safe to go, someone else to call that I knew was trustworthy.
Yeah.
Because you got to be careful about that too.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do.
Like there's some sick people in this world.
There is. That's exactly what I was thinking, is that sometimes for our kids, they are afraid to call us because we're going to be angry, but our anger is really fear. Like our instant fear of, they have no clue of how many scenarios go through our head.
Right.
Of what could happen to our child. Like we create such horrific, because we know the world can be horrific.
Right.
So we kind of create all the horrific visions of the things that could possibly be happening to our child. And it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. And that's the point blank thing. It's like, once I calm down from that and realizing that you're okay, now I can have that conversation of why this whole scenario should not have happened like this and why it's not okay that it did. because they have no idea the panic they ensue.
They
That's
don't,
right.
because all they get from us is, discipline. I think we have to show not only a little understanding, and we have to give them room to breathe, but at the same time, we have to continually express how much we love them.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm living and
Yes.
being the best example I can for you. When people say I would die for you, well, actually, I would prefer that you live for me and live in a way that's going to show me what I should do. Because I took my kids easy life compared to mine.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah.
So they got the benefit. They had many benefits that I never had.
Yeah.
So I was able to say to them, look, this is the alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. This middle child of mine. Woo, this girl. I thought she was going to put me under. I really did. She didn't.
The only girl?
No, 2 girls and a boy, and the baby is a boy.
Okay.
So the oldest and youngest, super achievers, super number 1 kid, super athlete. Middle child, yeah, she's a great athlete. She's a halfway decent student. I would get calls from teachers saying what she didn't do or what she wouldn't do. So it got to the point where I actually took her bedroom door off of the hinges. There was no door. Everything was out of her room except for her bed, her clothes, and I think her lacrosse gear, because she was a lacrosse player, and I'd already bought all that stuff and she was going.
Right.
And that's it. But that meant I had to be home all the time to monitor this kid.
Yeah.
And that was just like a season of us having conversations about that everybody in life has rules.
Yes.
You don't get to do what you want to do when you want to do it. So there were some things we could negotiate on, but there were other things, there was a line in the sand and you cannot cross it, because if you do, you are going to end up in either pain, danger, or something else that I may not be able to save you from.
Yeah. See, I'm glad you said that, Siege, because Billy negotiates with Alex on everything. And I'm like, no, Billy, not everything is when I say it, I'm saying it for a reason, and that's the line. And there's times, and that's one thing Alex would do. Alex would be like, so with all our kids is don't lie. You're gonna get in trouble for lying. You're not gonna get in trouble for telling me the truth. Just tell me what good or bad. Let's just get it out the way. Let's put everything on the table. Because God forbid you lie to me and I can't help you out of this situation.
Yes.
And then you want to tell me the truth when we need deep in this situation, I'm gonna be mad as hell.
Yes.
But Alex be like, well, let's negotiate. Mom, you sit this one out. Because I'm not budging. This is what I said. When Billy be like, but sweetie pie, he said he would do. Alex would do what he said he's gonna do, but after that, Alex is like, "Well, I did my part. Did you want me to stay that way? Oh no, that's on reserve for when I need something else." I'm like, "No, he's not learning."
Ooh, that's a tough one.
He's not learning. He'll do it.
He knows how to finesse
right.
Any kids that have 2-parent homes. There's always a parent that can be finessed. For me, it was my dad as well. And my mom, and we were so good when we would ask my dad for stuff that we already been told no from my mom.
Right.
And once my dad got chewed out from my mom a couple times for that, the next time we ask your mom. Ask your mom. It was never anything we could ask for from him before we talked to her, because she was quote unquote the disciplinarian. I'm saying that because she was the one who created the structure. Now, mind you, she was a stay-at-home mom for the majority of my life. Me and my baby brother were teenagers when she finally went to work. So she spent a lot of time with us and she created the routine. But kids know there's a parent that can be kind of shook down a little bit.
Yeah, they do know. And they work on that. And sometimes that's okay. because there are lots of things that kids want to do that we may not necessarily agree with. Like I never argued with my kids about, my girls especially, about what they wore, because they didn't wear uniforms. I never argued with them about their choice of clothes, jewelry, makeup, none of that. Now their father didn't always like it, but I said, you know what? That's not the harmful event. I'm waiting for the big ones. Those are the things where I'm going to really like buckle down and say, look, this is what happens to a young girl your age when you show this kind of behavior. These are some of the consequences. And like my father told me, you can take any action you like. I can't stop you and I can't guard you. But understand the consequences of your actions before you commit an act that you cannot call back.
True.
Right.
And he said that to me, I don't know, 1,000 times in my life, probably. And every time I thought I was going to do something really foolish, I would hear that in my head. And it was usually enough to stop me. Not all the time, but usually it was enough to stop me from making a mistake that I couldn't turn back. And I don't mean, you know, you tell me to be home at midnight and I don't get home until 12:30, because my daddy would just lock the door and your ass would stay out on that porch all night. I did that one time. Yeah. I never did it again. I missed one time. I never did it again. He said, when I go to sleep and lock my doors, that's it. You know what time you're supposed to be here. You can miss that lock if you want to. You'll be on the porch. That's where I was. Yeah, that wasn't fun.
Yeah. And as a parent, we learn what battles to pick. I did pick the battle of clothes, hair, shoe, makeup, because it was some things I just was not, it was not going to be okay with me. We didn't fight about it either. But I would be like, ugh, mommy just I can't do it. Because everything, it seemed like everything they make for these girls are just too much.
It's just ridiculous.
It's too much.
I actually just let my daughters, I let them pick their own clothes. I let them buy their own clothes. They are much better at makeup. I still don't do makeup. They're much better at it. They're much better at clothes. I mean, I'm working. Look what I'm wearing. I'm sitting at my desk at home, but this is like work clothes, a t-shirt and a hoodie. That's what I'm wearing, and sweatpants. But I did pick battles about teenage pregnancy, undereducated, unemployable, underemployable, getting locked up, creating a record that you can't ever get rid of. What happens in the juvenile justice system? I worked in a baby prison. I know. I worked in a juvenile detention center, and I'm telling you, it's just a baby prison.
Yes. Yeah.
There is nothing to be gained from that experience to make your life better. There just isn't.
No.
Like, that's something you can certainly pass by and not feel like you missed out. You don't need to be there to know that that's a bad deal.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
So those are the things I really, like the addictions that you can have, getting locked up, getting hurt, being in trouble where, your parents are trying to get money to get you out of some legal mess you've created. But education, teenage pregnancy, woo, I buckled down on those, drunk driving.
Yes.
All
my daughter didn't drive until she was 18, but she didn't drink either. So, yeah.
My son, he was like, can you buy me a car?
That was her choice. She was just a kid that was comfortable with her circumstance. I was like, you don't want it, but I didn't drive until I was 18 either. It was a boyfriend at the time who was like, you need to know how to drive. I was like, okay. Because my parents took me where I wanted to go. It was like,
oh, see, yeah.
No, see, with my kids, even Alex. I've been teaching Alex how to drive because just in case something was to happen to me, to where, just where I needed him to drive me to the hospital or something.
Right.
So I do teach him for emergency things. But I had a friend when I was in school, her father taught her how to drive because he was an alcoholic. So she would go drive him around. And I'd be like, well, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. The good thing is you're learning early and keeping him alive and keeping other people on the road alive or whatever. But
what
with
a
him,
terrible responsibility to put on a
right,
child.
Yes.
right,
Your child should not have to act as the adult in their life.
Exactly.
They
right,
shouldn't. They should be
right.
allowed to be a child, to make the mistakes that all children make,
Yes.
so that
Mhm.
they can have their own experiences to look back on. If we don't ever allow them to live and learn, what are
That
they going to
part.
have to reflect on? It's going to help them move forward. If they don't find out what
Facts.
danger is at an early age, they're going to fall into all kinds of mess.
Yep.
Yes. That's very
Yep.
good, Siege, because that's a hard parenting lesson to learn. As parents, we try to protect them from every little thing that could
Can't
happen.
do
And
it.
we can't
Right.
do it because the reason we are who we are is because of things that we have gone through in our life and that we
Yeah.
have learned from and that we have used to make us better. We didn't sit
Yep.
in it, we use it to be better. And that's where wisdom and growth comes from. And we can't expect them to become wiser if we don't let them go through stuff.
They have to be
I agree.
self-sufficient. They really, I mean, I wish I had the benefit of adults in my life that gave me guidance when I was a teenager. I was a 17-year-old emancipated minor and never went back home. Never.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is not the way, that is not the easiest path to travel.
I know
Right.
it can't be.
I had no adults to rely on that were trustworthy enough and that were also forward thinking and forward moving. So
Mhm.
I had to figure out an adult world on my own all the time. That's why I'm so
Yes.
difficult now, because other people talking to me just bounces off kind of like, yeah, not really.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think I can make my own decision.
Yeah.
If I
Right.
mess it up, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
I'm my own fixer.
Yeah.
Everybody should have an ally that they can rely on. Every child
Yeah.
should have someone they can go to and say, I really messed this up.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you
that's
to
why
intervene. I'm going to need you to help me something.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why I love our community, because I always tell Alex, you have somebody else's number. Like, if you
Mhm.
can't get to me, you should be able to get to somebody else. If you can't
Mhm.
speak to me and your father, you need to speak to somebody else. There should never be, your answer should never be, I don't have anybody. Because
Mhm.
everybody in his phone, I trust 100%.
Mhm.
And there's more people in this community than there is family. And that's just real. And it's sad, but it's just real. I
And
can
I
this
think it's
community.
fantastic. I
Mhm.
think it's fantastic that he has people he can go to outside of mom and dad.
Right.
First of all, that he would feel comfortable calling. And second of all, people that are stand up enough to say, I'm glad you came to me, but let's talk about consequences of actions. So
Right.
it's not like you don't need to berate them. There's no yelling, no
Yeah.
screaming, no. It's much easier when I'm talking to another kid and it's not my kid.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It is.
much easier for me to be empathetic, to listen,
Mhm.
to be open, and to just
Mhm.
let them talk to me. And then I can say, let's look at consequences. I don't need to tell them what to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not my place. I can tell them about consequences because I've lived long enough to know what's probably going to happen.
Yes.
Right.
So that's,
Yeah.
whoo, that's tough.
I
God.
know it is. It's tough. This is a good conversation. Listen, I hope a million people come in and watch this live, because this is, I mean, every parent is, they just want to make sure they keep their kids safe. And having the hard conversations of, because a lot of times parents don't understand why their kids don't feel safe to come to them. It's because they don't want you to be disappointed. They don't want you to
Right.
be mad. It's all those things that are going through their head when you're like, but I need you to come to me because this is how we're going to work through getting you what you
Right.
need, And I've been able to, with my oldest one, I haven't gone through anything really with my youngest, but with my oldest one, talk through things and allow her to understand that she could feel comfortable talking to me, about
Right.
stuff. And I'm glad we got there. We went through things. I don't think there's a parent that, I mean, if you have a perfect one, good for you. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but geez,
No, it doesn't happen. You
my
just don't know.
oldest was what you would think was the perfect child. I never had any issues with her until she hit her teen years. And I kid you not, my circle around me, I have a small village of people that I kept really close to her and my family. And when stuff started happening with her, they're like, no way, not her. Yes, her.
Right.
She is going through some, like, this was a principal honors kid, never stepped out of line, never as much as talked during class, escalating to sneaking out of my house. And I'm like, wow, not my child. Not my child. So don't think that, it's because a lot of times as parents, we think it's something we've done.
It's not your fault. That's what I was
did
going to
I
say.
do?
It's
And that's what I tell
absolutely,
parents. It's not you.
it's not you.
Nothing you've done. You can't change what's going to happen. They're their own person. They're their own individual, and it has no reflection on, because a lot of times we can judge parents. We see a child who's acting behind at the restaurant.
Yep.
Ooh, they just let them get away with everything. It's judgment, judgment, judgment. But you don't know. You don't know what's going on. That parent could be trying disciplinary things, and it's just doesn't stick with this child. This child could be on spectrum or something. You just don't know what the circumstance is. So I've learned to be less judgmental when I see things, because, like I said, I've lived through some stuff to know that you just don't know.
And that's when it gets to that. And it's always that 13, 14, 15. Those are the years that are so difficult. I'm telling you, my oldest, my God, we were beating the boys back with bricks. I mean, I just could. And then the baby, every time I came home from work, there was some damn girl at my front door. Is Kellen home with cookies? I'm like, where's your mama? Kellen is not home, and get away from my house. Like, get away from my kid and get the hell away from my house. And why are you here?
Yes.
So
you can't control that.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I've been going through that with Alex since maybe 8. So I always tell Alex all the time, Alex, please don't make me a grandmother at an early age. Like, I understand you have the eyes. Understand you have the charm and you get along with, but it's been times where, like I said, we would get calls from the school. Alex bought something special in for one girl. He bought something for one girl. And now these two girls are fighting. So why is Alex being disciplined? Because Alex, and I'd be like, no. First things first, who allowed you to bring something special for somebody else? Daddy. And I'd be like, oh, okay. I can't talk to you, but I'm gonna talk to your father about what's going on.
Oh my God. Oh,
also,
that's the number. And it's because, like I said, it's crazy. What Alex is my oldest child. I didn't have any issues until I allowed him to date. And his girlfriend was like, oh, your mom, first things first, she was in his room, and I came home and I was like, whoa, you ain't even supposed to have company. More or less, you got this girl would look like a grown woman, body shape better than mine, in your bedroom. Like, what are we doing here? And she made the comment as, this is his room and we should have privacy. Oh, I looked at him. I said, you want me to beat her ass or your ass? Comment to me. And he was just like, I have rights. His whole demeanor changed. He was like, I have rights. And this. I was like, oh, pack your shit. Pack what you bought. Pack it and go to her house with it. And her parents was all okay with it. And I was like,
such an empty case.
We're not doing this. But he didn't. My oldest son did not start acting up until he was 16. And
But I
that's
think also having the conversation that what they're feeling hormonally is normal. I had that conversation with my oldest when I started having the issues with her. Well, she only snuck out the one time, but she did. But when I started having issues with her, I told her, I said that those feelings are normal. And
right.
there's nothing wrong with you for feeling those feelings. However, if you feel like those feelings are going to cause you to want to do something more than just feel those feelings, we need to have that conversation because I also did not want to be dealing with
No,
my
see,
child being a
I
young
was
mother.
having that no baby, birth control, condoms and backpacks, lunch bags, gym bags, swim bags, lacrosse bags,
Right.
every bag, purses,
Mhm.
sweater jackets, hoodies, hats and gloves. They were like, Mom, for God's sakes, I opened my gym bag and it fell out. And I'm like, that they're supposed to be, what's the alternative?
Right. Right.
Better safe than sorry.
I'm
Have
not
those
having this. We're
conversations.
going to have a conversation. We're having the conversation, and this is about prevention. Now, to each his own. Everybody has to make a different decision, but I'm telling you, it's not that you can't do well as a single parent, but it is a harder road to travel. Why
Very
would you
much.
select it in advance if you have other options and
Yeah.
if somebody's making you aware of those options?
Yes.
Right.
I'm not just saying,
Yes.
you know what my message was as a kid? Don't come in here pregnant.
Yes.
I've
And
been
I've been
telling
both. I've
parents.
been a single parent and a married parent, and it is much harder being a single
Yeah,
parent.
Right.
that's all I got. I didn't get anything else to go with it. I had to educate myself. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I could avoid that road because it is harder.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard
Yep.
with two parents
It
when you have
is.
adequate income and everybody is
Facts.
mentally and physically well.
Facts. I
Try
actually
doing
think
it
it might be
alone.
harder because I remember when I had my second one, I was like, I was me and my husband were together, and I'm like, when I had my first one, because I was young and I didn't have the income, I got so many assistants. I had formula, I had this and that, so it wasn't so much off me. It was a little less heavy. Are they homemade? Um, and then I'm sorry, y'all. My husband brought some cookies in here. Um, but when I had him, I remember us like having to budget for everything we did for the baby because it was such an expense. I was like, it's expensive when you have to pay for it yourself. It's
It
expensive.
is, but it's more expensive to you psychologically over time when you're trying to do it on your own. You
Mm-hmm.
never have a break.
I
You
didn't.
lose that part of your life when
I
your
did.
friends are hanging out, they're going on
Mhm.
vacation, they're going to college, or they got their first jobs and their first apartments and they're buying their first little used car. And here you are home with a baby, asking
Yep.
somebody to watch this kid so you can run the street with your friends, and it's still different for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
My
a
mom wouldn't.
whole
Very true.
that's a whole nother
My
world.
mom
I
wouldn't.
don't wish that on any kid. I hope every
Now, I
kid can
wasn't a
avoid
teen
that.
mom, but I was young. Well, I was teen. I was 19, but I was young.
Right. I was 19 with my oldest, and my mom my mom knew I was pregnant before I knew I was pregnant. And she came out and said it. She was like, I only babysit when you're at work and school. That's it. I
My
was like,
mom
what are
was
you
the same
talking
way.
about?
My
She was
mom was
like,
the
you'll
same way. She
find
said,
out.
I didn't have a baby.
That's so
Yep.
hard though. Like that's not what you would choose. It's not being 19. It's not that it's expensive or whether you can get financial aid to help you. It's
Right.
just the psychological effect over
Mm-hmm.
long term. You are
Mm-hmm.
missing part of your life that you should be able to enjoy.
True.
Right.
True.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether you're going to, if you own your own business, if you're starting
No.
a small business, even if you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, now those options have been taken away from you.
Yeah.
Yep.
It definitely changes the dynamic of your life because I found that I threw my life into being a mom. So
Yeah.
I didn't take care of me because I was so busy taking care of making sure my daughter was okay. Everything I did was surrounded by her. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s that I'm like, but if I don't take care of me, how can I be good for anybody?
Right.
So then I started making sure that I take care. I have my own, what I consider to be self-care for me, no matter what it is. My own things that are just for me, where I'm not mommy and I'm not babe or wife or whatever it is.
Right.
I'm
It's
just
you.
Gina. I'm just Gina doing what I want to do.
And that's why I always say martial arts for every kid, because it teaches you discipline, self-discipline. It teaches you how to stick with something when it's difficult. It teaches you that things don't always come easily. And for kids like Alex, it also teaches you that no matter how smart you are, there are some things you're never going to know everything about it. Because there's always room to learn and grow. And with smart kids, I know I've got one, it is really difficult to teach them that they don't really know everything.
Yes.
That's tough. But martial arts will teach them that, because they're going to lose a lot in the beginning.
Yes.
And that will teach them, hey, Billy.
What up?
That will teach them how to lose, and how to lose gracefully, because that's important. You're not always going to be number one at everything you do.
Right.
That's tough for really bright kids.
And that's where we at with Alex. Alex is so, like I said, he's very, very intelligent. But he's very headstrong. So with Alex, it's more of
overconfident.
Right.
I'm telling you, martial arts will. I had to do it for Mike. I thought my son was going to have a nervous breakdown before he was 10. If he got one thing even a little bit wrong, if he was writing something and it went a little bit over the line, or it wasn't the same size as all the, I'm telling you, I'm like, this
that was
kid,
my oldest.
He's insane. He's gonna make himself crazy.
Yes, she would have a complete meltdown. I remember one thing she wasn't good at was the physical stuff. So she wasn't good at sportsy type stuff, but she was book smart, and she got a C in gym, which pissed me off kind of, because she was only like second or third grade, and I'm like, why are they even, if they participate, why is that not just a
I should have a C in gym.
She was participating, like really grading these little kids. Y'all petty. But she got that C. And when I tell you, she had a complete meltdown because her complete A report card now had this C on it. I just drove. It was that perfection that she felt like. I don't know where because I didn't create that monster. So she created it.
And that's a trap. Perfection, the ideal of perfection is a trap.
Right.
Because you're never going to be perfect.
A tough thing for a lot of kids is they don't realize that wall until they get to college. And that's what matters the most. And they realize, you could be the best out of 300 kids in high school at something.
Yes.
Then you get put into a different environment, different city, and you're just another. And it's hard for some of them kids to accept that.
That's true.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's true.
That's how my son went to the Naval Academy. They're all nerds. They're all the top 1% in the country. They all have perfect SAT scores. 90% of them are all athletes. They're all star athletes. He was at a place where everybody was just like him. He had to adapt really quickly. But the thing that separated him from his peers was 10 years of martial arts. So when things got tough and other people were breaking down, he was standing strong because he'd already been through it. He knows what defeat feels like. He knows how to handle it. He knows how to get to the other side of something that is not necessarily going his way. And martial arts taught him that. I could not teach him that. His father couldn't teach him that. We had to give him something, and we had to put him in an environment where he was going to continuously fail before he saw even one iota of success. And that's what made him successful in the end.
Mm-hmm.
He had to learn how to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And it's weird because you say that, and I'm like, I never did martial arts, but I am exactly that person. When I decide I'm going to do something, I don't care how many times I have to fail at it before I get it. And once I get it, I could be done with it. I just want to, I'm
Right.
going to show that I can do it. It don't matter what it is. Some of the things that I do, people are like, why did you? Because I said I wanted to do it and I was going to figure it out. And I didn't care how long it was going to take me. I didn't care how many times. If I get frustrated while I'm in the middle of doing it, I just walk away from it and I'll come back, try it again. I don't give up on stuff.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either.
So
It's tough to
Alex-
teach a kid that now. I can't imagine how
Right.
difficult it must be for you to even wrestle with the idea of sending him to a public school. That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. It's conversation over conversation. But Alex doesn't like to fail, and that's an issue. Alex rather ask for help or be like, hey, can you help me do this? Instead of I'd be like, yo, just go ahead and do it, and then I'll go over it. And he'd be like, no, I'll just wait for you. And I'd be like, no, go ahead and do what you got to do. And it's a back and forth. And I'd be like, Alex, why can't you just do it? If you fail, you're learning. No, I won't fail. I'm like,
I
no, you're gonna
agree.
fail.
My
Just go ahead and let's just do it.
Yes. She is like that. She thinks that I tell her all the time because she works in a medical lab now, but when she was in school, she would always feel defeated by getting something wrong. And I'm like, this is how you learn. Like, I learned from getting stuff wrong.
Right.
And when I make a mistake at work, it could be, I could make that mistake, but bet you one thing, I'm probably not going to ever make that mistake again.
Exactly.
Because I have now learned from it. I'm not going to beat myself up from it. We're going to fix it. And I'm going to learn that we don't do that when that happens. This is what we do. Now I know this. But it's like the younger generations, they don't know how to bounce back from that for whatever reason. Now, I've noticed a lot of them like that.
Right. Yeah, that's not good. You got to learn how to lose. You're never going to be perfect. There are going to be days where things just don't go your way.
Yeah.
You're just going to have bad days at work, days where things you normally do without a problem are just not going to work out for you for whatever reason. It's just not going to be your day.
Yep.
You can't let, or even an event, a series of events, if they don't learn how to lose and navigate a loss, what happens when you are not there?
Yes.
You're going to have a kid that's in the world that can't navigate through the world on their own because they haven't been given the tools or the opportunity to fail and learn and start over.
Yeah.
Billy, don't look at me like that. Billy is a big issue. Billy is a big issue.
Oh, here
Billy
we go. Uh-oh.
Cradles Alex.
I cradle 11-year-old. She cradles a 21-year-old.
I do. No, you lies. So there's a difference. So
10 years. That's the difference.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
No. So like I said, we have a child that's in college. And what that child was, I wasn't hard on my child, but I understood the path my child was going on. And I was like, listen, you can't go on your path here. Like, I need you to go to college and experience it for yourself, by yourself, where you don't feel judged or feel like, we're not for you. Like, I want to cheer you on, but you got to know yourself. And the only way to really know yourself is to be out of the household. Now with this child,
I'll give you an example.
Jesus.
Mom, I have a sore throat. I need medicine. Can you take me to the store around the corner? Hour and 25 minutes away is his school.
I did.
What?
I did. I drove an hour. Wait. That child didn't have any money. I could have just wired that child some money and they made them take an Uber, But I felt like, let me go see what's going on. So yes, I did feel the glands. I did look in the mouth and everything else.
Erica.
I did. I got chewed
I'm
out.
that mama too, Siege. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, my 26-year-old could call me and I'm like, I'm on my way. Mama's coming.
I was
Nope.
I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong for that
Hey,
one.
my 25-year-old call and say,
It probably
Dad,
is not
I'm
the
short
right
on my
thing.
rent. The fuck that got to do with me?
Don't lie. No. Don't lie. Billy has two kids. The 25-year-old and the 11-year-old. Out of his 5, them 2 right there, they can go, oh baby, come here. Let me sit here and just sit on my lap and I rock back and forth.
You being extremely
No.
That's okay. You know what?
No.
That's all okay.
No,
because they know in the small moments, if you show up for them in those small moments, they know you're going to show up for them in the big moments. And I am not kidding. You going to the rescue, even when they could do it on their own, is a way for them to keep that connection with you, child to parent. That's important. That counts. We can't let them, oh, you're a grown up, you do it all on your own. No.
Thank you for that, Siege. Now I feel great.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there is.
Our kids, I think with all 5 of our kids on a big situation, they always know they could depend on us. Always. Yeah. And
what I try to do is not do shit for them now so they don't have to depend on us later. If it come up, it come up. But it's been many a times where they dug themselves out. A few of them dug themselves out.
And that's good because they let them try. But let them know you are the rock. You are the foundation. That's your job. That's what you were put here to do. That's your number one responsibility, to make sure that they stay well throughout their lives. For as long as I have breath, that's my job.
So we do have guidelines with our oldest kids. I think, we do. I think
might
with
have mental guidelines, but
we do, and they probably
I don't treat them the same. Every situation is different.
Yeah, he definitely treats each one different. But like I said,
treat mine different. I treat mine different.
He spoils 2 out of 5. He does
spoil nobody.
You do.
No,
listen, we're not going to argue about that.
Yeah,
right.
This ain't about that.
But either way,
tags.
I think you're so stupid.
I think spoiling is okay. Whatever level you see it. Because it creates a connection. It's more important that I know they can call me for the big stuff as well as the little stuff, no matter what it is. Now, I might say, are you really? My daughter called me like a month ago to ask me something really obscure. I'm working. She knows I'm working. In the middle of a day, she's a teacher. She was on a break. And I'm like, Kirsten, really? She's like, yeah, I just want to ask you, Siege. Like, what do you think? I answered her. She said, okay, thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.
All the time, Siege. All the time.
Went about her merry way.
Or ask me stuff that's not in my expertise. And I'm like, I don't know. When did I become a doctor? I don't remember going to school for that.
They think I know everything.
Going to law school. I don't. I'm sure you
Alex will call me out. Alex be like, but you're a mom. At least go to the bathroom and Google it. Don't tell me you don't know. I'm like, but I don't know.
That's great.
If I could go Google it, you can go Google it.
Girl, the things.
That means they trust you, they love you, they can depend on you, and you are a safe harbor for them. And I'm telling you, I never had that as a kid. I don't ever want to see a kid not have that. You can't spoil your kids. You can't.
Let me ask y'all a personal question. Where does that that buffer area happen when you disconnect now? A lot of us have children that are married. And generally the child that's married, usually it's the daughter, is supposed to disconnect herself from the parent and rely on her husband. But that is something I swear I had this conversation about 2 hours ago. That is something that a lot of families do not see nowadays, because women, not to make it a women thing, but women are generally connected to their family more than the men. And they want to still have that, close connection to that. Do you think that that's changed? Like in the past, in the 50s, 60s or something, the man replaced the family. Nowadays, I don't know if it's because the men aren't quality men, they aren't great fathers and husbands, that the women still rely on grandma and auntie and all that for comfort, not even for like financial thing, but just to feel secure.
I could say with me and my dad, I think he disconnected because he has trust in you.
Yeah.
Right? Compared to my sister, he goes and sees my sister
Fills up
on
the
his
refrigerator.
yup. I mean, and she's married, her husband is there, but he can't let go of my sister. Neither one of my sisters. And he tells me all the time, I trust where you're at. I am comfortable where you're at. He's comfortable speaking to me once a week, to where me and Billy would talk. I was like, oh, my dad spends so much time with my sisters, and I mentioned it to him. He's like, because I don't have to worry about you. You have a whole husband. Your sisters are raising boys. They're raising somebody else's kids.
See, that's a huge difference. Like, I don't have those concerns with my kids, because if they come to me, we're still connected enough where we can talk about just life issues and big life issues.
Right.
But I don't get in their financial information, none of my business. I don't get in their interpersonal relationships, none of my business. I can't choose their partners. My parents didn't choose mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pretend I can choose theirs, but I always let them know I'm available. Mm-hmm. I'm available if you need to talk, but you're choosing your partner. And people behave the way you allow them to behave. So you have to decide what you're going to put up with and what you're not. And just know going in, your partner's going to do shit you don't like. That's never going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No. They're going to have habits that make you insane. That's never going to change. Mm-hmm. You don't go into a relationship thinking, well, they're doing this now, but I'm going to change it. If you're thinking that, stop. Mm-hmm. Pause and think about the fact that you can't change people.
Right.
They have to want to make the change. Mm-hmm. So I will listen, but I don't give advice. Mm-hmm. I do what do you think? What are some of the things you've thought about? What are some of the consequences that may happen if you take this road or if you take the other road? Have you thought about it? This is what I used to tell my kids when they were teenagers. Whatever is so important to you right now, and this friend and somebody did this and you can't go here and why can't I pay for this? Write it down. Go back and look at it 2 weeks later and tell me if it's really that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. Guess what? It never was.
Yeah.
Right.
It was never as big of a deal 2 weeks after they made there was this whole big blow up, or there's some friend, usually it was with girls, the friends and the girls, and somebody said something about the other person. And I don't know why this person, I don't like this. And I'm thinking, okay, just write it down, go back, look at it, and then you tell me if it's really that important.
Does that work with husbands and wives?
I'm probably not the best person to ask about husband and wife stuff, because I shouldn't answer that question.
Let me keep my one ratchet friend, okay? Let me keep my one ratchet friend.
Write it down. We'll see how it goes.
And I definitely agree with that. I don't give advice, but both my daughter and her boyfriend call me. And they don't call about, like, when they going through stuff, they actually communicate very well. So I don't have to they don't come to me like he doing this or she doing that, but they will call me and just discuss like different things, usually that they want to know if they're out of line for them personally. Right. And I still don't usually give my opinion. I'll usually deflect it in a way of making them think about.
Exactly. You want to give them food for thought so that they learn to make tough decisions.
I'm different with my kids. I be telling my kids like, yo, what are you thinking?
Because they really, most times, don't really want your advice. They just need somebody to listen to them, and they need to talk it through. Just like when we going through something. When we going through something, we call our girlfriend. We really don't want to know what our girlfriend think about the situation.
Right.
We just want her to listen to us vent about the situation and let us talk it through and realize, okay, maybe I did overreact, or or maybe I am right to be upset, or whatever it might be. But you just want to talk it through to somebody. You don't really want to know what their opinion is about the circumstance, because in the end, it's going to be whatever I decide.
I've always thought you've already made, if you call me and ask me, hey, Siege, what do you think? And they call me Siege, my kids.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think I should do? They've already decided what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not given a blessing nope. I'm just going to say,
I'm
how
the
about
same way.
consequences on the other side of that road? Guess what's going to be waiting to meet you?
Mm-hmm.
Can you handle that? Do you want to handle it?
And sometimes my oldest hates that. She's like, Mom, I want you to really tell me. I was like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you
know
don't.
what the other part
Because
is?
you probably have already thought of what you think I'm going to say anyway. So you don't need me to just verbalize it. You already.
Oftentimes, for your own health, it ain't worth getting your emotions involved in your children or your friends or your family members or whatever. Because it's going, like you said, they know what the fuck they doing already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So why even take on that stress? Just
And I will say it is a little bit of a trust thing too, because if I felt some kind of way about who she was with, I don't know if I would be the same. I don't know that, but I do trust that his intentions are where they should be for her. So I don't feel like I need to hover or anything. And not that I do hover, but I just don't feel like I need to be all up in theirs. I mean, he doesn't, he's no stranger here. We're like his secondary family, it's all family. So I think it is some of that. Like when I first met him, I was like, oh, he ain't gonna fit in around here, because we could be a little sarcastic and stuff. And I was like, he was like a little, he didn't come off as sensitive, but it was like, I don't know, we might be hurting some feelings, But
Uh-oh.
He came in and he adjusted and he do fine. So yeah. I mean, he'll call me up without my daughter. He's like, Miss G, you got some leftovers over there, because they came over or whatever, and I'm gonna stop by on my way to work, because he also works at a hospital. So he'll come and pick up. He don't need my daughter to communicate with me.
As many bridges that you can build between yourself and your kid, especially at Alex's age, because that's when it starts getting, he's right at that age where he thinks he knows and he doesn't know anything.
Right.
He thinks he can outslick you. I'm guessing he can't outslick either one of you.
No.
Because when I had to actually tell my kids some of the stuff I did so they could realize what I lived through, and they were like,
yes,
Siege, you are a beast. I'm like, I'm telling you, don't try me. I will know. You can't get it past, like, you're not that slick. You're not.
Yes.
That's
we know, because we done did some things ourselves.
Open communication is everything, and letting him know that you're not perfect and that he's not perfect, and that we all make mistakes. It's just choose your mistakes wisely.
Yes.
Choose them wisely.
I know you guys don't give advice, but I need some. Being that I got you two amazing, very knowledgeable, very experienced women.
Uh-oh, he's scaring me. I'm not getting caught in your trap. It already feels like a trap.
How? Siege.
All right.
How do I get this kid to stop peeing on the seat?
Oh, that ain't never gonna happen.
No.
Stop.
No. I'm surprised you ain't also doing it. Are you just not taking responsibility?
I do it, but I'll clean up my own mess.
Doesn't he have his own bathroom?
Billy don't want to listen, I bought everything to renovate the second bathroom, and everything's just sitting in the room next to that toilet. And I'm just like,
why my kids had their own everything, because I was not cleaning that shit. I don't have to use it. I ain't going in there. And if stuff starts dribbling out that door, we are going to have a problem.
Listen.
So all the
Listen.
money you asking for, I'm going to take that money and hire cleaning service because I am not a maid. I don't do domestic.
I'm with
Right.
Siege. And the fact
Right.
is, the answer to your question is it doesn't happen.
Right.
Until he get it his own, then he'll be caring about what it smells and looks like.
Till he get a girl to
Then he'll
invite
care.
over, you know.
No. That's no.
What?
No, you know my rules. Man, listen.
I don't even want to hear about Alex, and I don't want Alex and girls in the same sentence. I can't handle it.
Me either, Siege. Not
Don't
yet.
make me fly down there.
Not yet.
Will show up.
Yeah, not
You
yet.
don't even understand. I be telling Alex all the time. Listen, don't make me a grandparent early. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me.
Mm-mm-mm.
I know we grandparents already.
Whose personality does he have? Because he does have a very suave, finessing
has-
personality.
Billy's personality, but my temper.
You're fire. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
problem.
I can believe that.
So he knows. That's why I
Woo.
said he sweet talks like to the teachers, the girls in school,
Mhm.
and all the boys want to be his friends, and now his friends know he does YouTube. So but
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
so Alex is gonna
Oh.
be is that child, and I just be looking at him like, you're not even cute, you're not even handsome. He'd be like, yes, I am.
I was gonna say, now you know you lying.
Oh my God.
Yes,
You
I
know
am.
you lying.
So adorable. Oh,
But he does.
Yeah.
He has Billy's personality. Billy has that. It's like a natural flirt. It's like he can have a conversation and everything else, and people be like, "Don't you get offended?" I'm like, no, that's his personality. Just
Mhm.
who Billy is,
Mhm.
and Billy's very approachable, and so is Alex.
Mhm.
But with Alex, don't step out of line. Don't. Alex is like
Listen, I know I said something about his the dirt on it.
right.
Yeah.
he was ready to come after you.
He was in a car. He's like, Ma, you see it? I said, oh, you need me to start plucking some hair? He'd be like, but you see it, right? Like, boy, sit down somewhere.
Oh, that's funny.
He do got one though. You saw it?
It's 3 of them.
Is it 3?
Yeah, he got
Oh
3 of them.
no. Oh no.
And his mustache is really darkening up now. And he's just like, oh,
He needs
man.
to stay a kid. He is a child.
But
a little one. He needs to stay a little one.
right, right. But he's grown. Alex has always been ahead of the game. Always.
Yeah.
Always. And it's always been scary. And even my mom, she'll look at him, she'd be like, that boy right there, Eric. I'd be like, yeah, I know. She'd be like, just get ready. Just be ready. I'd be like, oh, I'm
I
trying.
love his maturity though, and I think that should make it easier to have those open conversations.
Oh, we do. We do. We do. We have those conversations. More or less with the girl thing.
You don't want to know the conversation.
Right. Right. With the girl thing.
I probably have had it myself, Billy. Listen, I was very, very real with mine.
Hey,
right.
Hey, Siege, my conversation go like this. Hey, Alex, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
No.
See,
that's not really
these are not the conversations I will be having when I arrive.
That's not really what you want to say.
That's right. That's
not my house.
But I had some really frank, open, honest conversation with my daughters because their brother was the youngest. And it was like, look, you have to think about, you are always number one. You are the catch. You are the prize. You are the trophy, not him. He's a dime a dozen. You can run through them. Whatever, makes no difference. You decide what you want for you. You don't let him decide what you want.
Absolutely.
That's the hard part. That's the part kids get pulled into, well, I'm supposed to go home, but you don't want to hang out with us. That's okay. We'll go without you.
Peer pressures.
No, you want them to be able to decide for themselves. I want to go, so I'm going to call mom and dad and say, can I go? Or I don't care what you say, I'm going home.
Yeah. I need to stop reading the chat. Every time y'all have saw me giggle, it's been because I look
Oh
over
wait,
at
I'm
the
not looking
chat.
at the chat, so I don't know what's happening.
Mentos was like, he came in, he must have came in on your lesson,
right.
Billy.
Oh, my advice.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It.
Terrible advice.
But I always tell Alex, or even our girls, you have to understand, if you decide to lay with this person and you get them pregnant or you end up pregnant, you got to deal with that person for the rest of your life. And if you don't like that person or you don't like their family, guess what? You dealing with that person for the rest of your life.
That's right. Don't let that $20 sundress turn into $100,000 in child support. It's not worth it.
It's not.
And not only that, what are you going to be missing? You're going to be missing summers at the beach. You're going to be missing cruises with your friends.
Yeah.
You're going to be missing, winter ski trips, shopping at the mall my kids went to the bookstore every Sunday of their lives. They could get any 2 books in the store. Every Sunday. Yeah. Guess what? You end up with a kid that needs financial assistance from me. That's the end of your money.
Yeah.
You won't see a dime.
Yeah.
There will be no mall shopping. There will be no back to school shopping.
Yeah.
There will be no Christmas list. None of that. All that's gone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did that. We did that.
That was heartbreaking for our kids.
Yeah.
When our kids started having kids, and they was just like, I need money for what? For what?
Thank God for Amazon.
Right. Tell me what you mean so I can ship it to you.
Exactly. No, but that's the sacrifice. And why select that? Because that's a selection. That's a choice. You can choose not to put yourself in that position. You really can.
Yep.
And I was like, I think you should make a different decision, because you will not be going on that 10-day cruise with us if any of this goes wrong. I'm just telling you. So have at it.
Yeah. I remember I had to show Alex Blue Waffle, if you guys are familiar. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. All right, don't look it up. I use like all the STDs. I show him the STDs, and he's gonna be a Mormon. He's gonna be like, he's not gonna do nothing. A monk.
That's what you think Alex is gonna be?
I show him all the STDs.
Alex is like this. So when we go visit when I go visit my child in college, I always buy him condoms, right? Alex be like, use 2 of them. Like what? Alex, that's not the solution. He be like, what?
Actually, that is
the
solution.
I'm like, Alex.
It's nasty.
That's the solution. Yes, it is.
I know another solution.
And like I said, is it abnormal for him to get to a point to feel that? Who knows your age when you get to the hormonal level? Every person is different.
Right.
And just understanding that it's normal, but you don't always have to act on it, immediately. You still want to act on it appropriately, but just knowing that you're not the only person. Don't feel like, because sometimes kids can be chastised as if there's something wrong with them for feeling that way. It's nothing wrong with that. We're made to have that hormonal change in our bodies where we're like, wait, why am I looking at him this way now? Why do I?
The wild part is,
why am I visualizing myself kissing this person, or whatever?
Right.
When we go through those teenage years.
So socially, the crazy part is over a few centuries, it's changed, because socially that hit kids at 10, 11, 12 years old. Now we want to, push it to 18, 19, 20 or 16, 17 or whatever. But so like you said, there's a fucking gap and a half of when these kids are going to start being interested in body parts and touching and seeing and shit like that. And some it might be 10 years old, and it might be 17, 18 years old. You know,
It's like anything else. When you take some of that mystery away, that dims that curiosity that leads you into things you got. No, I mean, my daddy was like, yeah, you talking about going hanging out with your, I came home drunk one time. Never happened again.
Yeah.
Never happened again. It's like, it's some things you are going to do. Some things you're going to make mistakes. But my daddy was good for ripping the veil off of things and making me realize there was nothing in this world that is new.
Yeah.
Everything that you can imagine, somebody has already done.
Yes.
So you're not unique.
No.
It's not that different. It's not surprising. It's not a mystery. It's not some big secret. It's certainly nothing to be ashamed of.
Right.
Like you don't need to, if you're, and you know, he would say things like, well, if you're doing it and you're hiding it from me, you should probably think about why. Because why are you hiding something if it's okay? And he'd walk out of the room and leave me with that thought. And I'd be like, true, that's true. Like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah.
I tell my kids that all
gonna
the
go
time. Don't you can't be grown and you don't want to talk about doing grown things. You can't sit here and be grown and then want to come home and be a child. If you're gonna be grown, let's be grown all the way. Let's talk about why you being grown and the consequences of you being grown.
And let him be a kid for as long as he can.
Yeah.
We trying. We trying.
Because some of us grown didn't sign up for what grown is. We like, wait a minute. So this is what grown is?
Yeah. Or you're forced to sign up for grown when you shouldn't.
True.
Because you're not really ready.
That's true.
Even though you think you are, you're not.
Right.
I mean, I learned to navigate my life extremely well, probably about 30.
Yeah.
Before then, I was trying to figure it out.
I am the same as you, Siege. I tell people that all the time. I was in my 30s when I finally felt like I was getting control over some things.
Yeah.
Like
I knew what I wanted. I knew what I didn't want. I was wise enough at least to figure out maybe the best route to get what I needed without destroying myself or other people along the way. And I knew no matter what I chose, I was responsible for my own decisions. I couldn't blame my mother, couldn't blame my daddy. I couldn't blame anybody. If it got messed up, I messed it up and I had to fix it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let him be a little boy as long as he can.
No blaming husbands. No blaming husbands.
No, I am gonna blame you.
No, Siege said no.
No blaming husbands.
No blaming husbands. Thank you.
I don't even believe in husbands. I don't think people should even get married.
Listen.
We had a good life. We had a good life. Nope. Yep. Bye, Siege.
Stop touching.
Oh my gosh.
Say what you just said.
I
love it.
That's my own trauma talking.
Siege.
I love it.
I'm just saying.
I love you though.
I'm about to go feed the dogs, but I gotta stay for a little
This
while.
is forever. I
love forever. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is forever.
What?
Oh my God.
See, I was on your path one year, long ago.
Till like last year, and then finally she was like, "Oh shit, we're married, right?"
Oh shit!
Right. I think all of us go through that, and I'm probably on both sides of the fence. It'd be some days. I saw somebody earlier. I think it was Jova say something about it's like I hate you even breathing. Some days, some days, Jova, why are you breathing in my space? There's other spaces to breathe and live. You have to do that here. And then other days it's like, great. Oh, you don't want to breathe in my space? You don't want to
and make up your mind? Oh my God.
You quit like that.
Oh, you just want to go over there?
Oh, that's fantastic. He's like, what kind of personality is this?
I can't help it. It's who I am. And I think a lot of people are like that.
Oh,
That's me.
hilarious.
That's me. I'd be like, yo, marriage is so overrated. I'm like, sweetie pie, come hold my hand.
Yeah. You got a t-shirt I can put on? Get your ass away from my shit.
And that's just real. That is literally real.
Oh my God, that's funny. So if you are having, if it's difficult for us as adults to navigate relationships,
Absolutely.
imagine what it's like for a child that doesn't have the backup of time, experience, and talking to other folks. They're just trying to figure it out. That's
right.
It's the impossible task. They need parents, but they need other people. They need other allies.
They do.
That are going to give them a chance to really think about the choices they're making.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's hard because relationships are never easy.
No, it's work.
They take work.
It's work. And you got to be willing to do it.
Listen.
I'm listening.
Just listen.
I'm just. Yo, I'd be the first one to be like, yo, this shit is overrated. I don't want to be here no more. I'd be like, let me put out applications to see who wants you. So I don't leave you stranded.
Ah, hilarious.
That's not right. See?
I'm just saying.
Oh my.
Let me know that there's 11 women to every man on the planet Earth.
There, you ain't lying.
There might be, but you might bite off more than you think you could chew. You never.
Well, I don't know about that.
Listen,
but
if she can deal with half the shit that I deal with,
What?
listen here.
Don't do nothing. Nothing.
Just pop up with surprise boxes.
What are you talking about?
He'd be like, where you at, Erica? You in the kitchen? Oh, okay. All right.
Mm-mm.
All of a sudden, he got a whole review going on. And I'd be like, when the fuck did we get that?
See,
I noticed how she said we. When did we?
See
everything you get a we?
Everything.
Ooh, see, I gotta have my own shit. I'm so sorry.
I do have my own, but he don't.
There it is. On that note, y'all.
I'm not saying a thing.
She done hoodwinked all y'all, man. I got
Didn't
a
hoodwink
string.
me. I'm not getting in that.
I got a string on my back with a ring on it. When she pull it and I speak, that's it.
What?
She control the show.
Look, I know my place, and my place is not in the middle of that conversation. Nope.
Nah,
look, I got work to do. I got claims to resolve. I don't have time to be talking to you all day.
You right.
She was like in the beginning, I'm here working, but I won't be commenting. All of a sudden, you see it on the screen.
I know. I'm like, I can't have them just sending my baby off to school with some strange people. They might be mistreating him, paddling him.
Please, it'd be the second day of school. I'll get that phone call. So Alex said he doesn't have to do this because he got an A in class. Right.
That's, oh my God, Kellen did that. Kellen corrected a teacher and then mumbled under his breath, I hope everybody here is not as stupid as she is.
Yep.
Oh, I had to go to the school. Yeah. It wasn't good. But the teacher was wrong.
So, and what do you do? Because with Alex, the teacher had said something, but it wasn't proper English, and he corrected her. And then he was just like, if how you gonna teach me and you don't speak proper English? I just looked at him. I was just like, Alex,
I told my kid what my mother told me. No one is interested in your honesty. You can keep your radical honesty to yourself. Because I'm even now, I have to like.
I was about to say, Siege, I was Alex. I wasn't that way that young though, where I would speak it.
Right.
And in high school, I told my I was in a course called marketing and accounting in high school, my sophomore, junior, and senior year. And I remember telling my teacher that I didn't feel like I learned, because I think he asked in our senior year, like, what do you feel like you learned throughout these years with this class? And I said nothing because I literally taught most of the people in the class how to do the work, and you didn't.
Right.
See, radical honesty, no.
But then my language arts teacher told me, because he must have said it to her in conversation with amongst teachers, I hurt his feelings. And I didn't feel bad either. I was a teenager though, y'all.
But see,
I
that's
didn't feel
Alex. Alex does not
But
apologize
it's not right. He just right.
for his feelings. And I think, and that's because I'm the same exact way. I will not apologize for how I feel, because I feel like your feelings are not more important than my feelings.
They're not more important. And everybody is allowed to have their feelings. But
Right.
I had to learn that me saying what I saw as a truth was not going to be well received, and it was not going to help me advance my life in a positive way, and I had to stop doing it.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I just learned that because of Billy. Billy's like, yo, it still hurts. Regardless if it's your truth, it still hurts.
It's the intent of your intent is not always the most important thing. It's how what the receiver is getting from you. So you may be sending a message, but the receiver is getting something else.
Yep.
And if you're not concerned about what they're receiving, you're going to run into some brick walls in your life, and it's going to be painful.
Yeah.
And why?
Being mean is just not, because I knew I was being mean. I was just frustrated, and I was being a mean teenager about the situation because he did drop the ball. Math is just something I was good at. So it was the accounting portion that he wasn't very good at teaching. So I was helping all the other students to understand how to do things. And I felt some kind of way about that because I didn't feel like I took anything away from the class, because I learned it just by reading the textbook. But I was being mean and saying what I said,
letting him know that he hadn't taught you anything.
It was unnecessary. Yep.
Right. If you could have that conversation with yourself now, you'd probably say, I could have said something that was an overall positive without making somebody else feel bad that they didn't
absolutely or not say anything at all.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
Which is what I know how to do now.
Hard for me though.
Oh, I'm like that now. Like if I see something, all the stuff we see online, and we're like, oh, and we want to say something, I'll be like, they don't need to know what I think. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah, because
I don't have to go through all that.
Right. That's true, because I know I have a problem not being radically honest, and it's ridiculous.
Yes,
people don't like it.
No. No,
they don't. They don't like it.
Some people will say they want you to be that.
No.
Some people will claim that's what they want, but
that part. And then when you are honest with them,
they don't want it.
Yeah, they don't want it. I know they don't. I've been there. I've said somebody's asked me their opinion. I've given them an honest answer, and it didn't turn out well.
No,
it was not pleasant. It
That's
was
why
not a pleasant experience. So, yeah, no.
If you know me, you already know what I'm thinking.
Right, Urban, I can't even imagine.
And if you're smart enough to be radically honest,
be so aggressive,
you can figure out how to be diplomatic, which is what I had to learn. If you're smart enough to be radically honest, you're smart enough to learn how to be more of a diplomat, so that you don't just go around crushing people's feelings.
Yes.
Because that's
well, I'm still learning. I am.
No, you know how to
learning.
because I know how to. I know how to say something without it being taken too harshly.
Right.
I either choose to do that or not.
Okay.
I either choose to do that or not. Both are being honest, but one is, which is also something I've heard somebody speak on before, is that we are taught that we have to consider other people's feelings above our own when we're expressing ourselves, which is not fair, because they can't accept the honesty, which is not our problem, honestly.
Right.
But this is how we are taught. We're taught that you don't say it like that. That's not very nice. You don't. We even do it with our children. Our children are very honest because they don't know that they're being mean and saying what they're saying. They just say what they see. So if they see like my daughter, one time we were in a store and there was a woman that was very tall, and she wasn't saying it to be mean. She's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so tall," and she was 6 something. She was a tall one, tall for a woman. But as the woman, she might have taken that personally, even though it's a small child saying, she was only like 3. And I'm like, and I'm saying to my child, yes, she is, but you don't need to say that. That's, be nice, but she wasn't being mean.
See, I think that's actually okay. Like, I don't think that would bother me.
Okay.
I just hold myself accountable because I think in a tunnel sometimes. So if you ask me, this is what happened, what do you think I should do? My question is, are you asking me for an opinion, or would you like me to hear you out? And if you say, no, I really want you to tell me. Okay. Right. There's no sense in me fluffing it up. I'm not good at fluff. I don't fluff. I don't
sugarcoat. I can't.
Yeah, I don't pretty things up because the message gets lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I should say what I'm thinking, and then you determine if you're going to listen to it or not, because we all have our own gauge as to what's going to work and what's not going to work for us.
Yes.
Right. Same thing with kids. Just because Alex is a kid, he's an 11-year-old boy. Mm-hmm. He's growing. His mind is growing. His world is growing. His hormones are going crazy. He has his own vision of what is right, wrong, and indifferent. Right. No matter what I say. So if he comes to me and asks me a question, I'm going to give him an honest answer without being so brutal that he feels defeated.
Yes.
Right. So that he can then realize asking something that you're not sure of is okay. Getting an answer that you don't agree with is okay. Right. Yes. You still get to decide for you. That's the material fact.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing that him and I have been working on. If he disagrees on what I have to say, I'd be like, well, let me know how you view it so I can understand it from your side.
That's very good, Erica. That's good.
That's one thing. Even with my oldest child, I was like that. Like, okay, you don't agree. Okay, tell me why you don't agree so I can see it from your point of view. That was one thing when I was growing up. It was my mom's way, no matter what. Mm-hmm. But my dad used to be like, nah, tell me. Like, my father used to take me for a walk. Like, yo, make me understand why you just did what you did, because I don't understand why you did what you did. Mm-hmm. And that's what made me bring it over to me disciplining my kids. It's like, hey, this is the way me and my dad was able to bond, because he'd be like, you did something stupid, but I'm trying to figure out what made you think that was okay. Right. And my brain, I can't figure you out.
Like, how did you get there? This is where you started.
Right.
This is the path you took. Was that your ultimate goal? Did you think about your goal?
Right.
My father used to say, you just can't go out into the world every day with no plan on what you're doing with your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was our talks.
Use your brain. You have a good one. It's powerful. Use it to make good decisions for you.
Yeah.
Because your little friends are not going to they're making decisions for themselves. They're not making a decision with you in mind.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, that's when you want them to be selfish. I don't think kids should be told, that's not nice. Hug so-and-so.
I don't do that.
Nope.
I don't do that.
Don't do it. Like, you shouldn't have to have a conversation you shouldn't have to hug anybody. You shouldn't even be forced to say hello to anybody. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in, well, you can at least be polite and why?
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Nope. I think that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to respect every adult. I think that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like that. I would like to see kids with, and Alex has that opportunity. He's got 2 parents. He's got a family surrounding him. He has people he can talk to. He doesn't have to be concerned with offending adults. Because
Yeah.
if an adult is offended by what an 11-year-old boy says, they got some self-work to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's on them. Let them deal with it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would not be concerned at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, y'all. I have work to do.
I gotta go help feed the dogs.
My claim is sitting here looking at me like, for God's sakes, finish this thing.
Well, thank you, Siege, for coming up on a panel. and
Thanks for
talking
having
about-
me.
Good. This was good.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Take care of
You
my
guys help
adopted
me.
grandson.
You guys helped me a lot with decisions on making with Alex because
Parenting is hard, and there's no book, and there's no one way.
Right. So
And there's no right way, or there's some
Mhm.
wrong things you can do, but there's no right or wrong way to parent.
right,
No,
right.
no.
Just Alex is that child. He's that child that, like I said, is this village and this community that's gonna help me get Alex across that finish line.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to cross it, but he's kind of like, let me
He
dip
got some
my toe
great-
over here to see what they're gonna say. And I'm
Yeah,
like, just dip it. Don't go.
he got
too-
some great uncles in the community,
He
so he'll
does.
be fine.
He does.
Well, I think, yeah, like I said to him, the important thing is that he needs to understand that when he chooses to make really bad decisions, knowing that they're bad decisions, there are other people that are disappointed in him not doing the best for himself.
Right.
Like, I'm not disappointed. I'm disappointed that you didn't choose the best thing for you.
Right.
I'm disappointed for you.
Yeah.
I'm not disappointed in you as a person. There's a
Mhm.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I
that
think
all the
that's the big
time.
lesson for all kids,
Yep.
like even my adult kids. I'm not disappointed in you as a person. I'm disappointed that you didn't choose best for yourself. That's all I want you to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I tell my kids, why didn't you choose yourself? Why
Yeah.
did you feel like you had to do this? Are you doing it to prove a point to those around you? Because you didn't put yourself first. You didn't put your
Right.
safety, your or
Yeah, choose you all the time, every time,
right,
all
right.
day, every day.
Right.
Mhm.
So
All right, ladies, I'm going
All
to
right.
finish my work day again.
Yeah.
thank you everybody for coming in and sharing your thoughts and feelings about our special Alex. I hope somebody learned something about today's live. I gotta go feed these dogs and cook dinner and everything else that I don't want to do, but I'm gonna do it with a smile on my face.
There you go.
Amen.
That's good stuff.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye, guys.